Of course.
Oh, wow, we're live. That's it, we're live. It looks less like a prison cell in here now. I have a fine piece of art propped up on my drink cart. I have a drink cart now. See, the office slash podcasting station is growing. It's improving. There'll be little bits of improvement each week, I feel, as we move along with this show and with my life in general. I should do an Instagram of just updates on my podcasting studio. It would be terrible. No one would watch it. I'd be like...
That's gonna be like the biggest snooze of a home reno type.
Well, yeah, needs something to sleep with.
Yeah, it'd be pretty terrible.
On Instagram.
It would be pretty terrible. I'm gonna do some really quick stuff in the background here, while Kevin does some really quick, soft intros here for everybody. Really fast, probably the fastest Kevin has ever done intros. He will be doing tonight. We will be timing him. It's going to be epic.
Oh wow, good job, Kevin. That was great.
Wow, incredible.
You did amazing.
Before you start, Kevin.
Yeah.
Background.
What about
supposed to be farm movies. Why is Winnie the Pooh behind you?
Look, Winnie the Pooh has been in so many places. If it's not the forest, he's hung out on farms too, with the Charlotte's Web. Winnie the Pooh is a well-traveled man. Oh, sorry, bear, I should say. Well-traveled bear.
Yeah.
I mean, he did get stuck in Rabbit's garden.
Yeah, he did.
Sort of.
See.
All right, well, whatever.
I'm stuck in your
get on with your
garden.
super fast
Bother.
intros.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all in the 24 time zones on planet Earth. Welcome to the most farmiest, most hardworking, and brawniest live stream on YouTube, Rumble Pod. Introducing my co-host and co-conspirators. First, the madman in the blue headset. He's from Ohio. He is crazy. He is a man who is so crazy that women, when they see him, they just want to tear off his garments. He's a man who is Bruce Campbell's #2 fan. And if you say anything inappropriate about DC Comics, I can assure you, he will pop you in the mouth. Give it up for the original Dog. Next is a man who's originally from that great state of Michigan, but now he resides and he runs the Lone Star State of Texas. He's a man who specializes in tea time travel. He is a man who is one of the most learned men in America today. He has taught me so much that I can learn from. He's taught me how to make and create a delicious cream pie. Give it up for the lovable and huggable Professor Chris D. Turner.
I promise you I did not teach him how to make a cream pie.
You gave me the recipe, sir.
I'm pretty sure you
sent
cookbook. You sent pictures for sure, Chris, in the group chat. We all saw them.
The cookbook. The cookbook,
that
man.
Was food. It was a cookbook.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay.
The cookbook.
Okay, we're sure. Okay.
All right. Last but not least, a fine, beautiful lady from that great Grand Canyon state of Arizona. A woman of the highest of moral character. A woman that is irresistible. A woman who lives the Cobra Kai lifestyle. She will take you down if you disrespect her. She's also one of the best Polynesian dancers on the West Coast today. Give it up for the brilliant, the bewitching. She is the woman of the hour. She is Bonnie Huddle. And of course, I am your humble podcaster, your humble servant, the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan Arts, your Supreme Chancellor, Brother Kevin. Brothers and sisters, we're going to have a fun time tonight. we're going to have a fun time talking about some Farmer Joe or Farmer Bob type movies.
Agriculture.
Agriculture.
Digging ditches.
Digging ditches.
By the way, Uncle Arnie's back. He's paying a visit. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, we're gonna go off the rails again.
I've properly dosed it and then had a little more because it tasted so good. So, Uncle Arnie, this is on you. Also, I'm going to do a quick toast to Chris. It was many, many years ago that Chris moved out of L.A. and is living somewhere off the grid. I don't even know. But he gave me this bottle of scotch because he couldn't take him with it. He couldn't take it with him. There we go.
Wow, that hit fast.
It does. It's really good. Yeah, so this is the bottle he left me. Now, I didn't have any because I was like, oh, when he comes back, we'll have some. Chris hasn't been back in a long time. So it all evaporated except for this little bit in the bottom. So I think I'm just going to drink it. Chris, I don't know if it's going to last until you get here. I don't know. And we would each have one little drop. So, Chris, this is for you, buddy. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
You will.
Yeah.
You know,
Why'd that taste
As
like
you-
urine?
Cheers.
You know, as you solemnly take down that libation, sir,
That was a bad idea.
is there anything you would like to pull out of yourself, sir, for the viewers?
I love pulling out. Here, let me get ready for it. All right, fine. If I have to. You've never seen somebody get a shirt on so fast in your life. That's right. The Pullout King is here. Courtesy. Yes, this shirt is courtesy of my mom and dad.
They sent that to you?
We're a strange folk.
They
Yes.
really sent that to you?
Yes, I sent it to
Wow.
him. Yeah. So this is what we'll be doing. There will be some pulling out action. So it's basically that I pull some comic books out and talk about them, and we discuss if you want, and if not, then you just listen, and then I go away. So whatever works. Basically, we have the Goon. So the Goon, Them That Don't Stay Dead, part 1 of 4. This is actually a really good one. Nezzy, I believe, got one last week, if I recall. Picked one up. And this is a lot of fun. It's the Goon and Frankie. It's another little adventure with them. The Goon and Frankie go to a bar, of course, because that's what they do after they're adventuring. And the Goon meets up with a girl, a lady, that has stolen something from a mob boss that she should not have. And she's on the lam. She's on the run, see? And the Goon decides he's going to help her, and then the shit hits the fan. The main villain is the little boy with a duck. I'm not even kidding. That's his name, little boy with a duck. And he is legitimately a little boy with a duck. And he makes a deal with the devil, so to speak, in order to try to defeat the Goon, because everything he's ever done to try to defeat him has not worked. So what happens with him? Ooh, it gets sinister and fun. So it's sinisterly fun. The Goon, Them That Don't Stay Dead, I would give it a 7 out of 10. If you have some extra scratch, I think you should pick it up. It's only $5, and it's only a 4-parter, so it's not a huge investment. Thanks, Nezzy. Nezzy loves this shirt. Mr. Sean, I'll try to do better. Do not give Kev a hard time about the cream pies. Are you talking about the cream pies?
I guess
Sean?
so.
And maybe these will be covered, but 2 that come to mind are Oklahoma and Witness. Don't forget the like button, fellow fans. Thank you, Mr. Sean. Appreciate
Aw.
that. The next book I'm going to be talking about is Feral, Issue 1. And yes, this is an homage cover to Day of the Dead, which is a fantastic homage cover, by the way. It's basically about rabies. It's a story about cats that can talk, and about they're stuck in a forest with no way home because they were picked up by a pound patrol, I don't know. Anyway, they picked them up, they threw them in the back, and then they wrecked the car, the vehicle, the truck with all the cats in it, and all the cats escaped. But the forest is filled with like rabid creatures. Like half these creatures in the forest have rabies, and they're hunting them down and after them. It's really cool. It's like a zombie book for cats. Bonnie, I highly recommend you grab one and read it to your cats. Cautionary tale.
I'm sure Neville will enjoy it thoroughly.
Cautionary tale, you know what I'm saying? I also give this one probably about a 7 out of 10. It's a nice, I think it's a $4 cheapie, so if you get the chance. These were actually the only 2 that I read, and they were a lot of fun. So 10 out of 10. I knocked it out of the park this week with my selections. And let's see. Feral is amazing, says Desi. Or Nezzy. Whew. It's going to be a good time. Okay. We can get through this, people. We can get through this. And, wow. I think I'm done. I think I've pulled out. And that's that. So next. Oh, hey there.
Let's see.
My hair gets wilder and wilder as we keep going on, because I keep having to take my shirt off and put my shirt on and take a shirt off and put another shirt on and take 2 shirts off.
I gotta tell you, I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah. Next time, don't leave the screen when it happens, says Chris. Pervert.
Is this now the part that we introduced our new segment?
Oh, you know what? I think we should all simultaneously say it, right? Is this what we're saying?
We're supposed to spill something.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. I did not know if it was this week or not.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Sure. Let me get you some music for it.
Professor Turner is going to testify to you and spill the tea.
Here we go.
So you like tea. You like travel.
We love tea.
I have the perfect solution. In the great old state of Mississippi. Brookhaven, Mississippi. In fact, there is a tea company called the Great Mississippi Tea Company. And what you can do there, you can go there for 2 days. You can go there and you can make your own tea. You pick your own tea. You spend a whole day picking it. And then you spend a whole day workshopping and learning how to mix your own tea. And then at the end, you get to drink it. To drink your own urine. I mean, your own tea. And I think it's a really cool experience. If anybody is really interested in tea, call me. We'll talk it over with some tea, and I can set you up with what I think is an amazing experience that I can't wait to try myself. So this will be a weekly segment that we do. I go over tea. We discuss a little travel, maybe a little tea.
Nice.
A little speed from your, wash the palate from your pulling out.
Clean your mouth out, actually,
Yeah,
after I've pulled out.
Tea.
Is it green tea, by the way?
I'm drinking Earl Grey.
Oh, very nice.
Yes. I've been wanting to get the Earl Grey cookies that are out, but I can't find them. So
the
teas.
Girl Scout cookies?
No, there's an Earl Grey Milano cookie.
Oh, no shit.
Ooh.
And apparently they're really good, but I can't find them.
That sounds really nice.
Earl Grey tea. So I was like, well.
I'm a very big fan of the Earl Grey tea cookies. They're very good. But I have not had
Anyway.
them.
What's like lavender and oil of bergamot, right? Looks like an orange and a lavender or something.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it's...
Anyway, so you just drank more of that. So yeah, I'm drinking tea. He's drinking weed.
Yeah, I meant for this one. This is the wrong
I'm drinking
one.
Screwball.
And I also got. I do have some whiskey in my tea. I'm not gonna lie. So the show might get really crazy. But yes, anyway, so this was spilling the tea with Chris Turner.
Yay.
Well done.
Well done. And I think it's the farming films that we're going to be talking about, but I think there's something that's really important that we have to tell everybody. And
what's that, sir?
I think that we should all say it at the same time. And right after this DJ air horn. Okay, so as soon as this horn ends, let's all say it together, okay?
Okay.
April Fools! Yeah, we're not doing farming films. Good Lord. We didn't want to put everybody to sleep. I know, probably Mr. Sean's in here going, oh God, I can't wait.
It would have been funny.
I can't wait to talk about plowing, and tilling, and rooting in that soil.
I'm pretty sure we could have found a way to make it work, though. Guarantee you we could do a farming theme at some point.
Totally
and
agree.
It'll be fantastic.
Totally agree. They're like, but we were trying to think of what sounded like the most boring thing we could do, and I just threw out farming, which I guess that did. I don't know. I don't think it didn't go as crazy as I thought it would for people going, this sucks. But we'll see, I guess, depending on how many people view this. Kevin, what's the actual topic?
The actual topic relates to, since today is April Fool's Day, characters from movies with people who are basically dumbasses, foolish people, silly people, idiotic people, morons.
Morons. Nezzy goes, ooh.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Sammy goes, well, hello, Donald. Hello, Sammy. Nezzy says, Dee's face of realization of the wrong bottle. This is going to be... No, it's not. It's not going to be... I meant to... Like, if you've never had Dong Quai, you should try some. It's very good. It tastes like celery. And it's a natural harmonizer for the body. Like, hormonally. It just calms you and centers you. It's very good. It's a Chinese herb. Also, wonderful folks know... Philippe says, laughing my ass off. Sammy says, also, Bonnie, I love your hair.
Why, thank you.
She didn't love it before. She loves it now. And Sammy says, oh, I didn't even think that was a joke. Nezzy's laughing. Hector Hernandez says, the Bonnie glow up. Oh, damn. Hector's thirsty tonight. Look at him go. And Mr. Sean says, Don, I can comment on films of any category. Silly me thinking you actually challenged yourself. Well, let's throw a picture of him up on the screen, too, when we're talking about the fools. Because we've fooled him. Nezzy says, so movies about Donnie. Oh, son of a bitch. That's not nice. So Donald-centric episode. Okay, all right, we get it. Okay, fine, Sammy. Yes. And Philippe says, Casa de Mi Padre with Will Ferrell. I haven't seen that one, actually, because I think it's all in Spanish.
I haven't either.
Which is not what I know. And
it is 100% in Spanish, but that's supposed to be like, half the gag of it.
I guess so, yeah. Black Crown EP.
It's an over-the-top telenovela.
I mean, Kingpin is a farm movie, right? Ooh, technically, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
It can't be, yeah. Top of the morning to you. Any shingling or butter churning they doing? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Where do you keep the other shoes?
Oh my god. What was it, like Buttercup or something? It was the biggest horse in the valley. And the next shot is like down here. Yeah. Whoops.
Oh, that poor horse.
That poor horse, yeah. Of course. But yeah, it's not farming films. We're talking about classic fools. So this is going to be great fun. It's not just going to be about me, smartasses. It's going to be about other things too. So I'm excited. Are you guys excited?
I am pumped up. And
it's going to be a fun one.
And you know who should go first? Ladies first. Let's go with Miss Bonnie. What's your first foolish character?
Why, thank you. Well, when I'm thinking foolish movies, foolish characters, I mean, the first name that popped into my head was Jay Mewes of Jay and Silent Bob.
Ah.
You could pick him out You can pick the Jay character from any one of Kevin Smith's movies, but I'm going with Mallrats.
What the shit are we gonna do?
Now, was Jay a farmer at any point in his movie career?
I do not believe he was at any given point.
No, but he did work with beans that were farmed.
Ah, yes. Magic beans.
Coffee beans.
Ah, yes.
Coffee beans. Yep.
But yeah, we're going with Jay. He's lovable, hilarious, funny ass, stupid Jay.
He's a dum-dum.
I mean, how else do you describe him? He says the most ridiculous shit, does the most ridiculous shit. He goes and beats up the Easter Bunny for allegedly beating up his friend. He's a loyal friend at that. You know what? That's what Jay has going for him. He's got his loyalty.
He's very loyal. That's true.
But man, yeah, the schemes he comes up with, it's hilarious. He's just, I think, one of the greatest foolish characters that exists. And the best part is it's pretty much just, it's not even really him acting. It's just him
being himself.
Slightly exaggerated.
So, like, that scene where he's doing Goodbye Horses.
That's
Classic.
from Clerks too.
Classic.
Yeah.
I love that. Which goes to show you that, like, there's so much Jay left for the world to see.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like, we can't let this
Hasn't
Jay
the
train
world
slow
seen
down.
Most of Jay.
You're not
We
wrong.
did see most of
You're
it.
not
That
wrong.
was like 98.5% of Jay that we saw there. There's still 1.5% left in him
By the
to
way,
share with the world.
I also
Probably won't though.
want to bring up that there are no drums tonight. So we are
Thank
we are
God.
all safe.
Oh, thank God for
All safe from the drums. I know.
that.
Last week
That's wonderful.
I got a little high and I got a little crazy on the
A
drums.
little.
But not this week. No. Not this week. This week's different. April Fools!
No!
Woo!
Never trust a word you say, sir. Never.
It's still Monday, motherfuckers! Woo! Oh, Sammy goes, phew! Dodged a percussion bullet. Well, it just hit you right in the chest, Sammy. Oh, right there. Yeah, it's gonna be great. A whole night of drums just for you guys. I knew you wanted it back. I knew it. I could tell.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. That was the best part of last week, really.
Was it? Yeah. That was the number one comment. Could have used more drums.
Yeah.
The topic was
Like how
great, and I really loved the camaraderie, and you guys were funny, and everything was spot on, except for just one thing. And I was like, what is it? I can't. I shouldn't say. No. Tell me. What was it? What is it? I really can't. I don't want to embarrass myself. I just can't. No. It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead. It's okay. It's safe space. It's just you and me. Okay. Could have used more drums.
Stop it, man. Stop it.
So there we go. Drums. I know. All right. So Jay and Silent Bob. Great fool for Jay. Silent Bob's a bit of a fool too, I will say. Because he goes along.
He's the wise fool.
He's the wise fool, but he does go along with a lot of his schemes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, who can ever forget? Fly, fat ass, fly. He's dressed up like Batman flying across the mall.
Yeah. And wasn't it the same thing in the same
grab
in
that
Mallrats
pin.
where he used the hook, and shot up? And
Yeah. The grappling hook? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did the reverse. They
Mhm.
just showed it in reverse, which is always hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they brought that back in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
that would make sense.
Yeah, I think they had that same scene again. It's been a while since I've watched it.
Uh-oh, guys, my mom and dad are on. Everybody say hi to mom and dad.
Hi,
Hello.
Mom and Dad.
Hi, mom and dad. And they didn't see any of this. By the way, April Fools, Mom and Dad, we're not talking about farming films. We're talking about our favorite fools in feature films. So we mixed it up on you. We tricked you. A little foolishness on our part. So we're sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. Why don't we go reverse order? Chris, why don't you go next?
Okay, a little knowledge on you. Fools have been in entertainment for thousands of years.
Oh yeah.
Shakespeare really brought them to life with a lot of really popular fool characters, but they didn't really become leads in theater until Commedia dell'arte with the character Arlecchino's, which was the fool character, and that's when they really started becoming in the forefront and be leads in projects. And a lot of these projects we're talking today, some of them involve leads, and one such lead made this actor's career. It's one of his first films that he made, and that would be an Adam Sandler film. And that film, Billy Madison.
It took you this whole intricate explanation to get to Billy Madison, Chris.
Well, in the movie, they do quote Hamlet.
That's
and
fair.
He tries to catch an imaginary penguin.
Also fair. And that kid right here in the blue, isn't he the one that peed himself? Or was that the little kid? It was the little kid, wasn't it? The little one. Yeah.
Doyle, right?
Yeah. No, Doyle didn't pee himself. But they do.
No, but that's that movie.
Doyle, I got a feeling your whole family's going down.
So yeah, Billy Madison, huge doofus, huge fool, just alcoholic, doesn't graduate high school. He finds out that he graduated high school because his dad paid off the teachers. Really, he's an idiot. And talks like an idiot, acts like an idiot. Like I said, at one point he tries to catch an imaginary penguin. Come here, penguin. Come here. And there's a golf cart involved, and it's hilarious. And it really made Adam Sandler's career. Really, after that, he went on to make Happy Gilmore, which was, I think, in my opinion, still his best film. Yeah, I mean, it's one of his. It's in his collection of best movies. Billy Madison is, and can't think of Fool and not think of him in that character because he's been that character in so many of his movies. And that was kind of like, oh, this is the thing, and he's kind of stuck to that similar type of character ever since then. So you got to go with the original Fool character from him, with Billy Madison.
We still need to get a Opera Man film, I believe, at some point.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
Good. I'm glad because I'm writing it right now.
It's been a while since SNL has had a sketch-inspired movie, right?
I think they just did one really recently, actually. It was on Paramount Plus, if I recall, or Peacock. I can't remember. It might have been Peacock since that's NBC. I think it was Peacock. And it was the three guys that are the writers, I guess. They're three of the writers, and they put themselves in sketches every once in a while, and they call themselves the something group or something like that. They just did a film, and it went straight to Peacock. And, so that would be the most recent. But there was no theatrical release or anything like that, so I think they kind of buried it. So, yeah, there hasn't been a big one, I don't think, in a while.
Superstar is the last one I can think of.
Yeah, the Never Stopping or something like that.
Yeah,
no, that's that's Popstar.
Popstar, that's what I meant. Yeah, Popstar.
Was that based off of the sketch though?
I don't know. I mean, wasn't
I know
it?
it's starring Andy Samberg, but that's not.
Yeah, and wasn't it produced by? They did.
You're talking like you're talking.
Didn't start on SNL.
Wait, are you talking directly like they took a character's sketch and they made a film? Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Like Superstar or Night at the Roxbury or Coneheads or.
Right. Yeah. Then that's probably gonna have been a bit of time. Yeah.
Or Blues Brothers even.
Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wayne's World. Blues. Night at the Roxbury. All those. Jesus. Yeah, boy, I think it has been a bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's been a hot minute since they've released a sketch inspired film where they've like spun off into a feature.
Well, Adam Sandler needs some work, so guys, get on this whole
No, he
Opera
doesn't.
Man
He has Netflix. He's
Wow, Kevin, don't interrupt me while I'm talking about our Lord and Savior, Adam Sandler.
Yeah, the last
Wow.
one was please don't destroy the treasure of Foggy Mountain.
That's the one, yeah, and that's from those three guys, the writers or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Before that, it was MacGruber.
Gruber. Oh my god.
Didn't get a sequel film, but got a TV series out of it, which I've been waiting. If you're listening, I've been waiting to watch it. I started it and then stopped because I felt guilty. So I've been waiting to finish it. And you haven't come over to watch it, so I still haven't seen much of it.
Yeah, that has been a long time. That's been like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MacGruber was a good one.
Yeah, Mr. Sean, please don't destroy the SNL writer sketch. Yes. Yeah, but is that a sketch from the actual show? Are they playing the same characters that they play on the show? Because I haven't watched SNL in a little bit. I'm going to be honest.
Same.
Black Crown EP says the MacGruber series on Peacock is amazing. I thought it was really smart pivoting from the Iceman to the Phantom when it came to villains. I thought that was a pretty good choice, going with Billy Zane as the new villain. Billy Zane makes a great villain.
He does make a great villain.
Makes a great hero too, and he's really good at comedy, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves for that kind of thing. Oh, my mom says, like your hair, Bonnie. Never liked it before, though.
What? Whoa!
Quit
Come on.
putting words in people's mouths.
There you go,
My
Bonnie.
God.
Everybody just loves your hair now.
Oh, thanks.
Crimson Fox, hey, Donald, hey, everyone. Hope you all are having a great night. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. It's good to see you last week. I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week. Nice that you came in. Yeah, so Billy Madison was a damn big fool for sure. I'm going to bring up one and let's talk about it. I don't remember who I selected, to be honest.
You don't?
No.
We had a bunch.
We did have a bunch.
Yeah. They're all there. Well, all the ones that we talked about or mentioned.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm going to talk about, speaking of SNL, since it's pretty related, and there was a big battle back and forth in the box office with these two for a while. Let's talk about Austin Powers in the big fool that is Austin Powers himself.
Well, then I might as well team up with you on this.
Yeah,
one a little
baby.
bit. With the other character that's Austin Powers, his arch nemesis, Dr. Evil.
Also played by Michael Myers. Crazy, huh? And there we go. There's Dr. Evil.
And you also have Mini-Me's Tripod, which was also played on.
Oh, God. Mini tripod.
All right, so Austin Powers. What makes him so foolish? Well, I mean, if you just start. If you missed the opening of him, if you didn't miss the opening and you got to see the dance sequence out on the street and stuff, he is like the coolest fool you would ever want to be around. He
And
is
the music.
like women want him and men want to be him. It's just the way it is with Austin, and it's just because he has this foolish, lovable charm, and things always seem to work out for him no matter what. So he's actually one of the best fools, I would say, as far as like he's a very productive fool.
His mojo. His mojo.
I think it all has to do with that. And he gets his mojo, and then that's where. So it's it's a lot of fun. If you haven't seen the Austin Powers series, definitely check it out. It still is great. I rewatched the first one.
He's just so charming.
Recently, yeah, and it's so good. And just the on-thawing process scene is freaking hilarious. And if you're a James Bond fan, all the better, because this rips off every James Bond trope, every James Bond plot line. It's pretty much just parody James Bond, and it's fantastic. So
and then his arch rival Dr. Evil is an absolute moron too. I mean, one scene I do love is when he gets unfrozen in 1997. The character Will Ferrell plays, Mustafa. I love that scene where he punishes him because Mr. Bigglesworth is missing his fur, and he punishes him. He presses the button, he puts him down.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm burning. Oh, yes, can you
I'm
help me?
still alive, but very
still
badly
alive.
burnt.
Belly burn." And pow! You shot me. You shot me in the arm.
Shot
But
me
he's so
again.
So great.
He's so stupid because number 2, played by Robert Wagner.
Number 2
Wagner.
work for?
Wagner, wow.
He's taking care of business, while he's been frozen, and he's coming up with all his plans and schemes, like, hey, let's blackmail the world for $1 million. I'm like, $1 million, and he's like, well, sir,
It's not a lot of money.
Yeah, our company makes $9 billion a year, so you should probably shoot a little bit
This-
higher.
yeah.
He's like, oh, how about this? $100 million.
Yeah, I think he went with billion or something at the end, which drove him all
100
crazy.
billion.
Yeah, $100 billion.
But
Yeah.
also, like, his number one didn't really want him to be evil anymore, because while he was frozen, he made a lucrative, profitable business empire
Right.
out of the
Right.
money that was left, and was like, oh God, the owner, like the CEO or whatever, is back, and now I have to tolerate this guy.
And then part 2 is even
that's funny.
worse. Part 2 is even worse with the Starbucks. He's like, sir, we came up with this plan where we're selling affordable coffee at good prices or something. Like, so look, I think you should use your time machine to go back, and we can make trillions of dollars. And he's like, don't you disrespect me? Don't you don't you overrule me?
Mhm.
Instead of making trillions, we can make billions. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Mr. Sean says Austin Powers, Dr. Evil were more a fish out of water. The first film was the best. Yes, absolute classic. Although the second one is
You can
fantastic.
forget him trying to do the Macarena to connect with.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Macarena.
And then fat bastard.
Okay,
Maybe laugh
so
too.
hear me out on this. We get a fourth. It's a grizzled Austin Powers. There's this like prison scene. He's kidnapped. He's beaten. That's why he's been gone. That's why we haven't seen him. He's been tormented. Finally, he figures out a way to escape. He escapes. He comes back, to the UK, and they have to put him through a process to kind of unhypnotize him, so to speak, because he's been conditioned by his captors, or at least they're afraid that that's what happened. So they put him through a what would you say, an unhypnotized process, and it's another one of those hilarious processes, right, that you have to go through. And then at the end, he says he's fine, or is he? So then they hire somebody, a sexy sidekick, to just check in on him to make sure he's not turning or going to turn. And there's some things that happen along the way that makes you question whether he will or won't. Ultimately, throughout the story, what do you think? This is a great story, right? Like, we're all in, right?
I think it's too smart for Austin Powers.
Well, obviously, you add a lot of dumb in there, but I think it's a great central plot, like a central
It should
story.
work.
Yeah, of a spy that's been kidnapped and possibly been turned, and we don't know.
I think it works better in an action thriller than it does a comedy.
Well, you don't know. Have you seen it?
Sure
Have
I
you seen it? No,
Sure, I've
you
seen
haven't.
this storyline in plenty of shows.
Yeah, Nezzy says I'm really hot. No, I think this is a great story. Nezzy, I think if I wrote this and somebody drew it in a comic, I could get you to buy it. You'd be like, yeah, this is great. Stephen Paul says swing and a miss. I don't even know who Stephen Paul is. I don't know you, Stephen.
How dare you disrespect Stephen Paul?
I don't know him.
He is a wonderful man, a righteous man.
Okay. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be a future classic, Stephen. You don't know. I'm writing it.
Let's let Bonnie talk about another fool.
All right, moving on. Bonnie.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
That's okay.
Okay, yeah. So next fool, I'm going with Jack Black's character from School of Rock. God, he's so great. I love Jack Black in general. But yeah. Why I'm blanking on his character's name right now for some reason. Isn't it Dewey?
Yes.
Yeah, Dewey something. Yeah.
Yeah, Dewey something or other. But yeah, Dewey from School of Rock. Ne'er-do-well. Lazy dude, just everybody knows this guy, has aspirations of being a rock star, and his head is bigger than his actual ambition.
Gets kicked out of his own band.
Gets kicked out of his own band, but then he, off the cuff, writes an amazing song about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta love that. But yeah, it's hard to describe him as anything other than foolish when coming up with this scheme to make money with a legitimate job by impersonating his friend who is a substitute teacher just because he happens to not be home when a school calls requesting a sub.
Mm.
Subbing doesn't work quite like that, but you gotta have like an ID with a picture and all that stuff.
Right. I think everybody knows, yeah, it's not going to be that simple to just show up at the school and say, yes, I'm Ned Schnoobly. Oh, okay. Sure.
Schnoobly.
Here's your classroom and 30 kids.
But yeah,
Have
if you
at
think
it.
if you think about Dewey, he's 100% an Arlecchino character. Like he has all of the same attributes that an Arlecchino would have. So he definitely fits in this category.
Here's what I
Yes,
think, Chris.
you
They let you teach children. So I think this is a very plausible
nice.
story. This is a very plausible story here in School of Rock. And I recently rewatched it. I didn't care too much for it the first time I saw it, to be honest. I expected it to be
Oh,
I expected more Jack Black, if that makes sense. I expected full Jack Black, and I would have got like 70% Jack Black.
well, because it's Jack Black with kids. You
Yeah,
gotta
and-
rein it
and-
in
and
just
I mean-
a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Plus, they like put
Yeah,
an
it's
actual
not-
story.
Yeah, it's not Pick of Destiny.
No, it is definitely not. There was no cock push-ups involved in the
Yeah.
making of this film. Shameful.
Should I have picked Pick of Destiny?
I think so. You fucked up.
Oh, well. You know what? I don't care.
This guy's
I don't
actually
care,
not so.
because-
He's kind of foolish in some ways, yeah, but he's actually a pretty good
He is.
person overall.
He's a great person overall, but I mean, it was a pretty foolish scheme that he came up with to impersonate his friend to earn money,
Mhm.
and then, pretty foolish to put the kids together as a band under the guise of it being a school project. A lot of foolish ideas
Right.
up front,
True.
but in the end, they kind of
Most foolish
worked out.
thing. Most foolish thing is him taking the kids on a field trip without permission slips.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
And a 10-year-old arguing with the bus driver, excuse me, with the bus driver that, oh no, our teacher's meeting us at the plays. We're all set.
Yeah.
You're good to go. Yes, drive us away now, sir. Just because she's the mature 10-year-old.
Right. Yeah, she drove. Yeah, I remember her. She was very prim and proper.
Miranda Cosgrove.
She was not one of the singers or the instrument players. Maybe
She was like the manager.
they
I
made her
think.
like the
Yeah.
I think the
made her
manager or
the
the
band
backup
manager.
singer or something like that. Yeah. So that was interesting.
It made a very interesting Broadway musical. I got to say, the Broadway musical is very entertaining. And the guy who played Beetlejuice on Broadway played Dewey in the musical. Hits it spot on. So
Nice.
there's a lot more foolish in this show than he is in the movie.
Okay, moving on from this one. Chris, next.
We're gonna talk about a little older movie from the '70s.
Ooh la la.
We're talking about probably what I think is probably one of the biggest fools in moviedom. We got a man, white hair. We got a man named Steve Martin playing a character that thinks that he's black in The Jerk. He's a
Navin?
big old
Is it Navin?
Navin. Yes, Navin. Yeah,
Okay.
big old idiot. Just like thinks he grew up black. Not blind or anything like this. Like the Dave Chappelle skit. It just
Clayton Bigsby, yeah.
not like that. He's such an idiot that he thinks he's black. Like you can't get much for foolish than that. It's absurd, but it's hilarious. And I love Steve Martin with all my heart. And yeah, the first thing I thought of when I thought of Fools, I was like, oh yep, that character, he has to be on the list. I mean, how can that not be one of the foolish things on film?
He's finally showing his age, like in real life.
Mhm.
Like the hair was always grayish, white, you know? And so I think he just stayed young looking for a long time, like a lot longer than he should have because of the hair, you know, and he didn't really have to do anything. It's kind of like, we're a little whiter now than we were. Not much, just a little bit. It's okay, that's fine, you know? But yeah, he still looks great. He's what, in his mid 70s, I think?
He's 78 years old.
Late 70s.
Late
Wow.
70s, yeah.
His birthday's a week after yours, so he'll be 79 this year.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at him.
Yeah, he's pretty close to my parents' age.
Yeah, I met him once, and the only thing I can talk about was that movie, The Jerk, and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which are, I think, are my two favorite. And it was just like he enjoyed the fact that I was bringing up classic movies that he was in. So that was a fun time. Because like those movies are just classics, and I don't know, I love them. And The Jerk. I mean, it's in the title, The Jerk. It's.
I also liked Roxanne, although he wasn't really so much of a fool in that one. It was a fantastic Steve Martin film. It really kind of showcased his talent.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, Roxanne.
romantic side.
Roxanne is Cyrano de Bergerac. So.
No, it's called Roxanne, sir. You're confused. Sorry. I'm sorry, Chris.
It's based on the play on the story Cyrano de Bergerac.
If looks could kill.
Oh, who wrote that?
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, you know who it was? One young William Shakespeare.
It was not Shakespeare.
Look it up.
It was.
It was a story. First
It's
of all,
science. Look it up.
Redmond Rostand,
AKA
100 and
Bill Shakespeare, everybody.
about 260 years after Bill Shakespeare was dead. It was written in 1867.
He found it and he reclaimed it. He said, I wrote this, when he really did not. There's a whole thing. And Hitler hung out in Argentina or some shit like that, or Venezuela. You got to look that up, too. There's a whole rabbit hole of conspiracy theories, and one of them is this movie.
I love
We
Cyrano
don't
de
need
Bergerac.
to open up that can of worms.
I love Cyrano de Bergerac.
Next week.
I love Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yes.
But there's no way, I mean, in order to love if Shakespeare would have written it, and it makes sense. I think Shakespeare could have written it based on it's all poetry and stuff. But it was a novel. Shakespeare didn't write novels.
Hmm.
He wrote sonnets, though, at least,
That
right?
you know
as
of.
well as plays.
Yeah,
And-
but
And he also wrote long poems, but not a
AKA novels. A long
no,
poem
they were not
can
novels.
be a novel.
Donald's
Oh.
written a sonnet before.
Nezzy says, it's not like Tenacious D. It's not all about Jack Black. This is a great pick, Bonnie. Don't listen to Donald because he definitely knows what he's talking about. Yeah, that's true. Black Crown EP says, oh, thank God somebody picked The Jerk. I love that movie so much. Frank says, hello. Hello, Frank. Mr. Sean says, the Inspector Clouseau movies would fit this category. Frank also says, I like the scene in Father of the Bride when Steve Martin is excited that one of the wedding guests is dead, so he doesn't have to pay for their plane tickets.
didn't Harry Kirby die last year?
And Sean McGean says, The Grapes of Wrath would have to be one of the greatest farm... Henry Fonda, read the room, is outstanding, and that is Tom Joad. Also, John Carradine is Casey the Preacher.
I think we
Well-
talked about that movie, though. We did talk about Grapes of Wrath.
We're talking about the jerk. April Fool's, Sean McGean. You must be a little late to the game. We are not talking about farming movies today, sir. We got you. We're sneaky like that.
All right, Donald, what you got for us?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, it's not so much of a film for me as it is an aesthetic, as it is a feel for these two. And I say these two because they are far and above more iconic than they're given credit for, I feel, in today's society. And we are talking about Bud Abbott and Lou Costello. Abbott and Costello, the comedy group that
I believe the two
love so
Seans
much.
will definitely appreciate this pick from you, Mr. Donald. I think they'll appreciate this.
Well, I mean, the classic "Who's on First" is just okay. So that's parodied every single where and thing and place, and people don't know. Half the people that are doing it don't even know where it came from. So that's the funny part about that. The other part is the fact that these guys were Universal savior. Basically, at one point, they were making the most money for Universal Pictures out of any of the people that they had on in their repartee, in their what would it be, in their, what's the word I'm looking for, in their bullpen, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word, in their
Their
bullpen.
catalog.
Yeah. Abbott and Costello meets the Invisible Man. Abbott and Costello meets a mummy. Abbott and Costello meets the Wolfman. Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. They met them all, basically. And they were hilarious and great. And there's so many more films that they created over the years. And sketches, small skits, things like that they had done back during their, I want to say, vaudeville-esque days when they were doing these sketches together. But true classic. And True Fools. Basically, you had The Straight Man, which was, if I recall, Lou Costello, I want to say? Or am I wrong? I always get their names mixed up with their faces. And no, I think Bud Abbott is the straight man, and Lou Costello is the fool. But you have one straight man and one fool, and it inevitably comes down to the fool saving the day, so to speak, in the straight man going, I told you could have done it that way, you idiot, and then that's it. So it's basically a nice roundabout. You go through the paces, and it's all kinds of fun. So I do love Abbott and Costello. I think if you haven't seen any of their films, definitely the Universal Monster movie ones are great, because it also gets you a little more Universal monsters that you didn't probably know that you could have had. You're like, oh, there was only, there was Frankenstein, there's the Bride of Frankenstein, and then, and then you got the Hammer films and stuff. I just wish there was more Frankenstein. Guess what? There is. It's in Abbott and Costello. It's in there, like the Wolfman, the Mummy, the Invisible Man. It's all in there. So check them out if you get a chance. But True Fools. Let me see if we have any comments about these guys.
Didn't they co-star, or didn't they guest star in the Animaniacs?
Possibly. I don't remember that, to be honest.
Of course, it wasn't them, but yeah, I think they were on an episode of Animaniacs.
Yeah. Mr. Sean says, Sean, I missed your insights. My favorite two. My mom says my favorite two, Abbott and Costello. It's true. It's my mom's favorite. Frank says, I like Rain Man's obsession with Who's on First. Yeah, that's also great. Sean says, guess I'm a April Fool. What's the topic if not farm films? I was all ready to go with Witness, Straw Dogs, Days of Heaven, etc. Mr. Sean says, Buck Privates is a great Abbott and Costello movie. Bud Abbott was the straight man. Thank you. Yeah, I thought it was Lou Costello was the fool. Let's see. Sean says, Abbott and Costello are good, but the Marx Brothers are even better. And Nezzy says, at Sean topic is movie fools. Oh, yeah. It's definitely movie fools. Marx Brothers are great. I really like the Marx Brothers. Were they better than Abbott and Costello?
Chico
That's a tough one.
and Groucho.
I think there's different I would say probably the Marx Brothers to me felt more like the Three Stooges than Abbott and Costello. I feel like Abbott and Costello feels more like Laurel and Hardy.
Laurel and Hardy.
So you've got, I think those are kind of pairing off with each other. So they both can exist and none's really better than the other. I think they're just in separate categories. Okay, Kevin.
I want to go with one of my personal favorites, one of my favorite comedy movies of all time, or actually 3 of my favorite comedy movies of all time, the great trilogy from the late, great, and surely miss Leslie Nielsen, Lieutenant Frank Drebin from the Naked Gun trilogy.
Kevin, I love this choice so much, I'm going to attempt to do a GIF.
Ooh. Ooh. I got to see this.
And it's working, guys. It's working. Frank's going to get the shit slapped out of him the whole time you're talking.
I mean, this is something that these movies are special for me because my mom, we saw all 3 movies in the movie theater. We laughed our tails off. So much fun. All 3 of these movies are excellent. I mean, the supporting cast from Priscilla Presley to the infamous O.J. Simpson to was it George Kennedy, I believe? You know, great cast. The first movie, the way it opens, where he goes to interrupt a terrorist meeting with all the enemies of America, Castro, Arafat, Khomeini, Gaddafi, Gorbachev. I mean, it is just hilarious. I mean, you're just on the floor laughing. He gets himself into so much trouble. He doesn't know how to drive properly. He hits people, runs into different cars. He just accidentally just solves a case. He's just an absolute moron. And the rest of the police squad, they're idiots too. But they're just fun idiots just to observe. It's just so out of control. The way he acts, because it's such dry humor. I love it. I love that kind of dry humor. It's just an absolute blast. You can never go wrong. If you don't like these movies, there's something wrong with you. I mean, if you're depressed, these are the movies to watch. If you want to jump off a bridge, these are the movies you want to watch to prevent you from jumping off that bridge because it's so much fun. You just it's great. It's just so great. I love all 3 movies.
It's tough because people always they constantly ask. They'll be like, "Okay, which one's your favorite?" And for me, it's always the third. It's always going to be the third because that's the one I remember seeing in theaters. That's the one I watched my friends and had a good time with and stuff. So that was like, I think I may have gone back and watched the other 2, or I'd seen the
2.5,
the other
33
2
and a third.
Yeah, I saw the other 2 like not a while back, and then the third one came out and I was like, oh yeah, I'll check this out. But just, I don't know, man, the timing on this one, the fact, everything seemed fresh. Like the first one to me, between the first and the second one, I felt like some of the gags kind of carried over from the first into the second. And with the third, I felt like we've got some new, fresh gags to work with. It was a little different of a plot. So that could be why some people don't like the third one as much and they like the first and second. And that could also be why, like myself, some people like the third one more than the first and second. I just felt it was a little different. That's all.
And all the bad guys are good too, especially the first one. We got Ricardo Montalban playing Vincent Ludwig. You know, he plays a great bad guy because the way he talks, he's such a smooth dude. So such a smooth man, smooth gentleman. So you think of if you took his Khan character from Star Trek and just put him in a nice suit, a suit and tie. He's just great. He's a great villain. And Reggie Jackson's in the movie. Towards the end, you have the thing with Queen Elizabeth. It's just out of control, hilarious. And then the second movie is probably my favorite. Because the whole thing they do with Barbara Bush at the White House is just unbelievable. It just cracks you up. Cracks me up.
Yeah, poor Barbara Bush.
Yeah, poor Barbara Bush.
Mr. Sean says the Police Squad TV show was amazing. Yeah, I watched all 3 of the Police Academy film, or the Naked Gun films, and I had no idea that there was a TV series before the movies. None. No idea. Then someone told me once, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's based off that's why it says in the files of Police Squad." And I was like, "Really?" And they were like, "Yeah, there's like 8 or 10 episodes or something out there." I couldn't remember how many they said.
That's 6. 6.
Was it 6? Okay. So I went and I found them. And I rented them at my local Hollywood Video. They did have them there. in the old section. Or no, I think it was at Bag and Save, which is an even older rental place. And I rented them, and it was epic. It was truly, truly great. And I was like, oh, I see. A lot of these gags, like they've used in that show, and then they put it through into the film, which is smart. Sometimes the format doesn't work, and you have to pivot. And the fact that they were able to make that succeed, they had a unsuccessful TV series turn into a successful movie franchise. And Firefly had an unsuccessful TV series manage to get a feature film and then have a successful comic book series. So, sometimes it just depends on the format and what meets people and how it hits them. Kind of like edibles. When and how they hit you, each individual. Anyway, let's see. Sean McGean says, okay, now I know the topic. Peter Sellers is one of the greatest all-time movie fools.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And Sean says, but if you guys are going to go down the Abbott and Costello road, you also should compare them to Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. That's an interesting comparison. Although I felt that one felt forced, if that makes sense. It felt like that they kind of, they didn't have anything prior, and they put them together. So basically then you had like, two actors that acted together all the time in films, and they just happened to work well together. So you would get that. If that makes sense. I'll talk about that more in a few here. But let's get to Bonnie's now that Frank's been successfully slapped about 200 times.
I think Kevin is next, I think.
I thought this was Kevin's choice.
Yeah, that was my choice. So Bonnie's next.
The weeds hitting me took so much of it, Donald.
Wow.
Oh,
shit. Okay.
Contact buzz.
Bonnaroo, your turn.
Alrighty then. My next pick is going a little bit classic-ish. Going back to the 80s with Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Ooh, nice choice.
A movie that Sean Penn would slap you if you brought it up to his attention.
Which is quite foolish because, my gosh, what a debut,
But he's like a serious actor. He wants to get away from that as far as possible.
I mean, you can still be a serious actor and, throw in comedy every now and again.
Yeah, Robert Downey...
Have some fun, heaven forbid.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Downey Jr. did Tropic Thunder, and he's won an Academy Award.
Yeah, he has now won an Academy Award. And my God, what the... Man. Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms there. But that was a fun one.
What?
But yeah, so
Oppenheimer?
Spicoli, Fast Times. Huh?
Oh, you're talking about Oppenheimer or whatever. I don't think that was...
No.
That was fun.
I still haven't seen it.
I should talk about Tropic Thunder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Oppenheimer, or however you want to pronounce it. Don't bother. Don't bother.
It just got released in Japan, at the box office in Japan.
Oh, fly to Japan then, Bonnie, and see it in theaters. Well worth your time.
Right.
It might be.
It is.
Yeah, I'll catch it eventually.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah. Spicoli.
Sean McGean has a great one. He says, Don Adams is great in the Get Smart TV show, classic 60s show. Also, in The Nude Bomb, if you want to associate it with film, which is basically the same character, just in movie form, which is also great.
I loved Get Smart when I was a kid. That was one of my favorite Nick at Night shows.
Nice pick, Bonnie. A classic role, says Sean McGean. And Nezzy Donna's high. Don't listen to him. Whatever, Nezzy. Sean McGean, Donald, what are you talking about? Oppenheimer was great. No, it wasn't. Sorry. It was self-congratulatory, boring hash. And I left the theater feeling less like they had taken it out of me. Like it was so much to work through. It's no thank you. No thank you.
I agree.
Oh, thank you.
I agree.
Thank you, Chris. See, there's 2 out of 4 here on the show.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say.
Kevin, have you seen it?
Not yet, but once I do, I will give judgment.
Mr. Sean says Don is showing his lack of understanding of epic films. No, I'm just not going to say something's epic because the theaters tell me I should, or the studios say I have to.
Or the
I'm going to
critics
be
say-
the judge for myself type person and how a movie makes me feel. So that movie did not make me feel like anything but bored and uncaring about the whole situation. If you're going to show me the truth about somebody, make it enjoyable. And if it's not, then why make it into a film?
But what about the other half of that double feature, Barbie? Did you like that one?
I have not seen Barbie, Kevin.
Barbie was great.
I've not seen it. I'm sorry.
Love Barbie.
But someday.
Yeah.
I
I
will.
mean, Barbie was good, but I like the other movie with the same storyline better.
Nezzy, you can't say Bonnie would like it. She might hate it. You don't know.
The other movie
Or
with the
I
same
might like
storyline
it.
was Poor Things.
It's true. Or she might like it. There you
Anyway, yeah, so back to Spicoli.
go. Spicoli. Didn't he order a pizza in class?
Yes, he did. And then the teacher took it from him.
Damn that Mr. Hand.
He took his...
But
That's my
his logic
Zah.
was solid. Like, Mr. Hand, if you're here and I'm here, then doesn't that make it our time? I love his just, his logic there. Like, yes, of course it's ours. And then, of course, Mr. Hand has to go and spin it on him.
Mhm.
You're right. It is our time. How great of you to share your pizza with us on our time. Just the look on his face as they're passing around the box. And he's just watching it go away, slice by slice. Just, like he was seriously like on the verge of tears. He was seeing this man get his pizza away.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that his daughter's worst nightmare?
A truly
He one-upped
epic
him.
fool.
Mr. Hand one-upped him. He one-upped him good.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's so great.
Mr. Sean just asked me if I hate brown face, aka Gandhi. Perhaps
Wow, whoa.
Perhaps
whoa.
I do, Mr. Sean,
Whoa,
not
that's
appreciate
insulting.
someone going in brown
Sir.
face.
Sir, you
It's
just
that,
insulted our Indian
Ben
and
Kingsley
Pakistani
is
and Sri
actually
Lankan
Indian, right?
viewers. How dare you?
How did I insult them, Kevin?
You just going by brown
It's
face.
not.
Brown
It's not
face.
brown face though.
What that wasn't makeup on him?
Ben Kingsley is Indian.
Yeah, but he's not that dark.
True, he's not
They darkened
quite
him.
that dark, but
They darkened him, Bonnie.
he's still Indian.
They darkened him. Unacceptable.
He is still a person of color though.
What if Fisher Stevens played Gandhi? How would you feel about that? No? Do you remember him playing an Indian guy? Short Circuit? No?
Oh God, that's been like for.
Oh, you guys are killing
can't
me.
even remember.
It's a Steve
I can't
Guttenberg
even remember
classic.
seeing- I
Passage
legit
to India.
cannot
I
remember
don't.
if I've ever even seen it.
Okay, so Mr. Sean, Gandhi, I got bored with and shut off. A Passage to India, I don't think I've ever seen. The Agony and the Ecstasy, never seen. Malcolm X, did not watch. Cheyenne, Autumn, did not see. Oh, and Dr. Zhivago, nope, haven't seen that either. So
Gandhi
Oh,
won
yeah.
best picture, man.
Dr.
that's
Zhivago,
fine,
I
and it
saw
can't. That
one.
doesn't make it a good film. It just makes it a film that, like, people gave awards to. That doesn't make it a
Dr.
good film.
Zhivago was a good one actually. I saw that right after film school, I think, because the theater by my house was playing it. We had an art house theater in Tempe, Arizona. Believe it or not, it popped
Ooh,
up.
really?
I mean, I feel the same way
Yeah.
about what
Walking
people
distance
think.
from my house, and yeah, that's where I saw Dr. Zhivago.
So you live right near Arizona State, basically.
No, that's downtown Tempe.
Oh.
I did
Yeah,
not.
That was still like a 15-minute drive.
I did not ignore the rest of your comment. It's just there's a lot of comments, so it takes a bit to get through them, Mr. Sean. I'm sure you heard me talk about the other films already, so we don't have
But
to really go over
Donald-
those again. Yes.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way about what people feel is the greatest film ever made, Citizen Kane.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's the greatest film ever made.
I enjoyed Citizen Kane, but
I bores the hell out of me.
it's very long and slow. The
Unless
pacing
Nat-
on it was not. Yeah,
It's a good Nat movie.
I enjoyed it though. I think it's good. But yeah, the pacing was wasn't great.
Okay, Chris, you got another one?
Yeah. We're gonna go back to a TV show that turned into a movie.
Okay.
A character from a TV show. So we're gonna go a little go to England for this one.
Mm-hmm.
We got good old Mr. Bean.
Ah, yes, Rowan Atkinson, one of my favorites.
Yeah, Mr. Bean got 2 movies. First one was not a success, so they made a second one. And the second one was also not a success, but hilarious, all the same. What can you say about Mr. Bean? He never talks. He's an idiot. He's a klutz, biggest klutz probably out of everybody we're talking about today. He gets himself into such trouble and such like particular situations that you can't. It's like it's like that car wreck you can't turn away to look at.
Well, I mean, you can't look away from it when there's a chair on top of a mini little car that he's operating with a broom and a mop handle while sitting up in the chair. And he's got like
Exactly.
a brick thing working on the side for the brake and the gas. And if you haven't seen that skit, it's fantastic. Also, the stair climbing skit where he's trying to get past people is fantastic.
That's what makes him so funny is he thinks he's so smart and a genius,
Mm-hmm.
and he's an idiot. And his ideas are always the worst ideas ever, but he thinks it's super smart, and that's what makes it funny. Its own right. If you haven't checked out Mr. Bean, go ahead and check it out. It is probably probably some of the funniest skits you'll ever see on TV. Up there with Blackadder, which is also hilarious, but
Mm-hmm.
not really foolish in that, but.
No. And he does talk, which is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Sean says Rowan Atkinson also made the Johnny English movies. I enjoyed all
basically
three
Mr.
of them.
Bean as a spy, basically.
Basically, yeah. And Sean McGean says Casablanca is actually the greatest film ever made based on a script and acting. I fell asleep.
That would be Love Actually.
Casablanca.
Citizen Kane is all about Greg Toland's amazing cinematography in Rosebud, but Kane is very hard to relate to.
Yes.
Hector
I
says
agree.
Mr. Bean played his same character basically in Rat Race. Rat Race should qualify because they are all fools in that movie. And you are not wrong, Hector.
Yeah.
You are not
I
wrong at
agree.
all. That is a
That's
film
a great movie.
filled with fools. And
Yeah. I was just thinking of it actually.
I prefer
'Cause the character with the tongue piercing.
Yes, I prefer the remake. I really do over the
Seth Green
original.
movie.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
original I felt was a little too bloated. It was a little too long in the tooth. Whereas the remake knew when to get in and get out. You know, it
Well, that's the one with Mr. Bean, I think, is the remake.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one,
That's the one we're talking about.
and it's great.
Yeah.
A lot of
Because
fun.
the original was titled "It's Mad, 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 Mad World."
Mm-hmm.
He's also Mr. Bean in Love Actually too. So
Hey, Jason.
I was
Good to
waiting
see
for
you.
you to bring up Love Actually.
Thanks for popping in. We're not talking about farm films today. We're talking about fools. We April Fools'd you, so sorry. We changed subjects and went with something else. This was actually planned to do this. So there's that. Monty Python. No, I don't think anybody's mentioned Monty Python yet.
We have not.
But we just went through Mr. Bean. Was that your choice, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me pull up another one. I feel like I'm the one that brought this one up, so I'm gonna do it. But if I didn't, I'm sorry. Did anybody talk about Chris Farley?
No.
it's all you.
All right, cool.
Take it away.
Tommy Boy. So basically, he's playing Tommy McCallahan from McCallahan Breaks. His dad goes to his dad's wedding. His dad passes, and Tommy has to prove that he has what it takes to run his father's company and make it successful in order to save the company from his evil stepmother and her son, a.k.a. lover. They lied. But Tommy's a lot of fun. Tommy's one of those frat boys, drinks too much, eats too much, snorts too much, gets a little crazy, and then all this shit happens, and he realizes he has to put that stuff aside and take the helm along with his ever faithful but highly judgmental sidekick of David Spade, who played a character, I cannot remember his name in the film. But this is what people said was the next coming of basically the Blues Brothers, Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, or Abbott and Costello, or, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis.
It was Richard. Richard was his name, by the way.
Richard, that's right.
Yeah, I think they kind of mirror Laurel and Hardy a lot.
In a way, it's different because the bigger guys, more of the bumbling oaf, I think. So I would say that probably I would still go with Abbott and Costello because Richard is more of the straight man and less of a fool in this, although he is made foolish often. Whereas Laurel and Hardy are both fools in their own right, more so anyway.
Good point. That's a good
point. But I do love both, and I'm happy that you brought them up because. And by the way, Laurel and Hardy, I'm not sure about Abbott and Costello, but if you go to Culver City, Laurel and Hardy, it's rife with filming locations for a lot of the Laurel and Hardy films in movies and in TV specials or whatever. I don't know if they did TV specials, but anyway, the films. There's a lot there. There's also some in Silver Lake, I want to say, where you have the stairs, the piano stairs, the infamous piano stairs.
Yeah.
And there's also, I think there was a few Abbott and Costello things, I think, in Culver, but I think it's primarily either going to be Wizard of Oz, I Love Lucy, or Laurel and Hardy is where you're going to get a lot of those in Culver City back when they had Culver, I think it was Culver Studios there at the time. And then Desi Arnaz's and Lucille Ball's studio there also. Some Star Trek maybe too, but I don't think they put any of that outside. Your best bet is to go to Vasquez Rocks if you want a location for filming outside of studio when it comes to Star Trek. Also a great spot for hiking and just enjoying the view, if those of you that have not done it. I'm assuming both Sean McGean and Mr. Sean has done the hike and walked to Vasquez Rocks. I would imagine they're both inclined towards the intellectual science fiction that is Star Trek, particularly from that timeline. But yes, Tommy Boy is fantastic. It sets us off in the right direction when it comes to Chris Farley's career being a bumbling oaf. Not long after that, we get Beverly Hills Ninja, which is probably my personal favorite. Just because my friend that's no longer with us, I remember going to the movies and they wanted to see that, and we had just watched it. So a couple of us went to see, I think it was Fifth Element or something else. I can't remember what it was. And they went to see Beverly Hills Ninja, and afterwards we all we could talk about was not the film that me and my other friends had seen, but the ones that Jen and a couple of her friends had saw, which was Beverly Hills Ninja, because we had also seen it. So it was just a great conversation. So Beverly Hills Ninja, I would say, was a great one. And I recently did watch Almost Heroes with Matthew Perry, and it is not nearly as bad as I remembered. And it is possible that it is still available on YouTube for free. If you don't have access to it, you might still be able to see it there because that's where I found it.
And what do you think about Black Sheep?
Black Sheep was a low-rent Tommy Boy. Not nearly as good. And even upon rewatch, it's not nearly as good. I do love the bowl of chocolate pudding scene with the cabin that's tipping and collapsing, and they're trying to figure out how to survive and not like fall along with it or die. And the epic fall of Chris Farley, it's just great. It's a great moment in that film for sure. Like, it's great. Sean McGean says Kirk Spock 2024, the logical choice. Oh my God. There's just no pleasing these two, is there? There really isn't. I could say I love filet mignon, and they'd be like, yeah, well, I enjoy muck water. How about that? Just straight from a pond. What? Mr. Sean says, never been to Vasquez Rocks. Holy hell. You're right up there. You live up there. But part of Amazon Woman on the Moon was filmed there where some Star Trek scenes were done. Yeah, that would make total sense. Army of Darkness was also filmed in that area. There's quite a bit of history when it comes to Vasquez Rocks, and a lot of westerns too. In fact, if you go up that way and over, there's another park not far from there that you can go to where they filmed a lot of westerns because there's a cave. It's not a very deep cave, but they would come out of it and then they would film the scenes in the studio and stuff. But it was a pretty cool experience. So I highly recommend up to that way. Plus, Mr. Sean, if it gets you up there, there's also a winery not far from there, about 10-minute drive from Vasquez Rocks. That is a fantastic winery. I had a birthday celebration there, which was fantastic, as well as at Vasquez. We went to Vasquez Rocks, and then we went over to the winery afterwards, and it was great. And I was there, went on a date before that even, and had a great time. So highly recommend the wineries over there. There's 2, I think. Either one is great.
One of the movies that we discussed tonight was shot there.
Where, Vasquez Rocks?
Yeah, Austin Powers was shot there.
That's right.
I can't remember what scene.
That's-
What scene would have been shot at Vasquez?
I don't remember, but I know it was shot there.
Interesting.
Because I
Wouldn't it have been the secret lair?
possibly.
Maybe? I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that information. That's news to me. But okay. All right, cool.
That's right.
All right, next. Whose turn is it?
I believe it's
Kevin.
me.
There we go.
I'm going to go off the beaten path here. I'm going to go down the horror movie path. Alice Hardy from Friday the 13th, the first movie. And this is kind of just a representative of slasher movies in general, the stupidity of people in horror movies when they're being chased by a killer.
That's fair.
And one thing I don't understand, I think I was talking to you about this like a couple months ago, Donald. In the movie, she's pretty much the last one left standing. Jason's mom, Pamela Voorhees, reveals herself to be the killer.
Hey, spoilers!
Well, put it this way. If you've had 44 years to watch this movie, so it's on you.
I have not, but that's just because I'm not a horror person.
There you go. So you're not missing out on anything.
Yeah.
But you know the basic tropes, the stupidity of people in slasher films.
Sure.
So she has her first fight with the killer. She gets away from the killer. She runs outside. The killer, interestingly enough, left her Jeep running. So what would that tell you, right? Get in the Jeep and leave, right? So she gets in the vehicle. There's one of the dead bodies of one of her fellow counselors is in the Jeep. So Bonnie, tell me what you would do. You see a body of a friend or whatever in there. Sure, you scream, you freak out. But would it make sense to say, you know what? Push the body out and just keep going to get the hell out of there, right?
Probably.
No. She doesn't do that. Instead, she screams, ah! The body's there, jumps out the car, runs right back into the cabin. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not. Yeah.
Not very bright. You know, everyone's dead.
If my fight or flight was gonna, send me away from the vehicle, I wouldn't go back to the place where I know the killer is. I'm just gonna keep running the opposite direction.
Yes. But, common sense was you have an
And to the
escape.
nearest police station or something.
Yes,
or something.
you have a means of escape, and you didn't take it. I couldn't believe how stupid you could be. But here's the best part.
Okay. Go ahead.
Here's the best part. She does eventually, of course, has another confrontation with the killer, defeats the killer. Now, I have to ask myself, again, the vehicle is there. Leave. Get out of there. Leave the scene of all of this horrific crimes that have taken place. No, you know what she does? She gets on a boat or a canoe and just floats out in the middle of the lake, just la-di-da-di-da, all through the evening into the morning, la-di-da-di-da. Just like you see in that photo there. Oh, yes. Oh, the serenity of this lake. And then, of course, a famous scene, you see the boy Jason pop out of the lake and pull her in to the freaking lake, nearly killing her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she wakes up, at the hospital. Where's the boy? We didn't find any boy. Oh, he must still be out there. And then, of course, at the beginning of the next movie, she gets killed because she goes and moves to some place where she lives by herself in some abandoned, creepy old house, as if he couldn't find her there. Oh yeah, so she was dumb.
Let me say something really quickly though, Kevin. As we learned in later films, particularly I recall, I want to say it was the Final Girls.
Yeah.
And what we
Oh,
learned
God,
was
that's
you could run so far into the woods and it would bring you right back around to where you started by the cabin. Like, because
Really?
in these scenarios, in these film world scenarios, it's a loop. So no matter what they do, it's designed to bring them right back around to the murder scene.
So even if she jumped in the car and she drove away, you mean to tell me
She
somehow,
would-
some way?
she would come in another lane and then right up in front of the building again.
Oh, that's bull.
Or maybe he would have popped up from the back seat because she didn't check the back seat before she drove off.
No, that would not have happened because she was in the cabin. She had knocked her down in the cabin. She was down
See,
and out. It was,
Kevin's upset at horror film
Something
logic.
would have jumped out from the back seat.
oh my gosh.
Kevin, I think the loop thing is valid on this one there, buddy. I don't know. I could be wrong.
By
Really,
the way, let's give a shout out to The Godfather.
I'm working my way there now.
Oh,
Sean McGean says, I've heard about the Bronson Cave being the Bat Cave. All in good time, Kevin. We have to acknowledge people as they come in.
sorry.
The Bronson Cave, yes, it actually is and was used for the Bat Cave. Unfortunately, they don't let you film there because unless you have a permit, they're very strict about it. USC films there a lot, actually, for independent and short films and stuff for their school projects, surprisingly. And also further up on that Bronson Caves Road, if you go past there is a very lovely horse ranch / trail where you can rent horses to go on a nice little horseback ride. I did that for, I want to say, my 40th birthday, which was a lot of fun. Jason says Bonnie would live. Sean McGean says early Woody Allen films. He's great as the fool, especially in Sleeper. Sean, you have no idea how much I love Sleeper. That movie to me is so fun. I really do love Sleeper. Take the Money and Run and Bananas. Bananas is also fun. It's a bit silly, but it's fun. Elliot Sparrow. Hello, Elliot. Good to see you in the chat. Says keep the body in the car. Use the diamond lane. You can't. Not every back road has a diamond lane, but it's a good strategy for if you're in the city, I guess.
It is, 2+ people in the car.
Yep. Jason says Kevin knows the steps, almost as if he's done something like this before.
I don't want to share that right now on the air.
Mr. Sean says, wait a minute. If the roads are a loop, how did they get there in the first place? Exactly, Sean. Exactly. How did they get there in the first place? They were written in. So basically, their God is a writer, and the printed page is what they worship. They have to. It dictates everything. Interesting theories abound. All right, Bonnie, last choice of the evening. Do you have one?
I did not have a fourth pick officially.
That's okay. You want to share one with me?
I can look at the list again.
Yeah, look at the list.
Yeah, let me peruse this really quickly. Pardon me. Oh, yep, this was a good one. Do we have a Will Ferrell in Anchorman?
Yes.
Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy. I'm Ron Burgundy?
We were still working at the ArcLight at the time, and that came out 20 years ago.
Yes.
Talk about a great introduction to the fact that he'll read anything from the teleprompter. If it's like, that was so smart of them to put that. Anchorman, to me, is a true classic comedy. They should never have done a sequel. It
ruined it.
Like muddled it.
The sequel had its moments. I didn't think it was completely terrible, but it was so far from the magic of the first one.
And poor Baxter, the dog, getting punted off the bridge.
Oh, Baxter. By Jack Black.
Yes.
You ate a whole wheel of cheese and you pooped in the refrigerator? I'm not even mad.
I'm not mad. I'm impressed.
San Diego. That's German.
Whale's vagina.
Some true classic stories. Skyrockets in Sight, Afternoon Delight. Smells like Bigfoot's dick. Sex Panther. Like, you cannot go wrong. There's so many classic.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh, Anchorman, you make me laugh. Lamp.
Do you really love lamp? Or are you just saying you love lamp?
You're just pointing to things in the room.
Love lamp. I love lamp.
Elliot says, what about Borat? That's an excellent choice, actually. Borat is a great fool. And Borat is probably one of the funniest freaking movies that came out. That was
2006.
quasi-reality television in a lot of
That
ways.
was great.
Just genius.
great.
Genius level, smart, whip smart, super
That was
fun.
I wasn't
Kazakhstan.
a fan. Borat didn't do it for me.
No?
No?
No, Borat did not do it for me.
Oh,
I was
wow.
not a fan of that one.
When
I'm sorry
when
you
him
feel
and
that
the
way.
large man got into it, like in the hotel, and he got his
Oh,
balls on his
God.
face.
He's chasing him around. He's chasing him around.
No.
I don't think I've laughed that hard in a movie theater ever in my life, except
Yeah.
for in that scene.
Yep.
It didn't. Yeah,
I turned
no.
red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Baxter, you know I don't
That-
speak
that and,
Spanish.
like the mankini. Ugh.
Yes,
It was
Mr.
too
Sean.
much for me. It was too much. I couldn't.
Nezzy says, such a quotable movie, just like Step Brothers. Step Brothers is another movie filled with fools, and I
God,
love
I
it.
love Step Brothers. Yeah, that was
We just
great.
become best friends. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Now we got so
Mom,
much
can we
more.
make our beds bunk beds?
See, we got so much more room for activities. Yeah. All right, Chris, what do you have? What's your last one?
I got a detective.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
I've got,
Dun-dun,
it's
dun-dun, dun-dun.
no,
Dun-dun,
this is a
dun-dun.
different detective.
Oh.
This one is a detective of the animal variety.
Oh, what?
Oh.
Ah.
Like.
We got
Ay-yi-yi-yi-yi.
Ace
Alrighty
Ventura,
then.
Pet Detective.
Okay, dokie.
All right.
Yes,
Alrighty then.
probably. Well, Jim Carrey's played a lot of fools in his career,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think any is as big as Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, who talks through his butt. And
Yes, he does.
yes, he does many times.
Too many times.
Too many times. And he's just overall, yeah, it's his take on the bumbling detective, and it's different. It's definitely a different take, and it's outrageous and absurd and hilarious. And the first time I watched it, I hated it, but now I love it. So it has to be on the list because I think this is his biggest, most foolish of fool characters. Like I could probably think of. I don't know if there's a movie he's played he wasn't a fool. Maybe other than like, Man of the Moon. He played a guy who was a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Truman Show.
Yeah.
He was made a fool, but I don't think he was a fool. Also, what was that other one about the theater? The Majestic?
The Majestic. Yeah, that's
That
such
one.
a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Very underrated. And then you like the
Very.
number
I love that
23,
movie.
which is a horror film. He's really branched out over the years and done a ton of stuff.
But you got. I mean, you had Cable Guy, huge fool.
Mm-hmm.
Face Detective 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Liar, liar. Liar,
Liar,
liar.
liar.
Big fool.
Oh, that was a good.
Bruce
one.
Almighty.
Bruce
Kind of a
Almighty,
fool.
yeah.
Dumb and Dumber, of course.
And
Big
of course,
fool.
Both of them. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so in the minority. I did not like Dumb and Dumber.
Oh my God, Bonnie.
You don't like Harold and Lloyd?
No,
Oh.
no.
Well, let's see. Start the
Minority.
revolution
I'm the
without
minority
me.
on that one, I know. But yeah, that one wasn't for me either.
Start the Revolution Without Me has Donald Sutherland and Gene Wilder playing excellent fools. Also, Mr. Sean, I just saw an advertisement. I think it's on Freevee or Tubi. Crazy. What was it? It's Crazy People. It's not Crazy People. It's the other one. Loose Cannons. Loose Cannons with Gene Hackman and Dan Aykroyd. Is on there for free right now, which I was thinking about checking out after the podcast, actually. Sean McGee says, I saw Borat when it came out with a Russian girl named Marina who was raised in Kazakhstan, and she laughed her ass off. That's kind of amazing. Sean McGee says it was fun. Elliot says The Mask. Yes, Elliot, The Mask. Yes.
There we go.
Another
Mask, too,
fool.
yes.
Stanley Ipkiss. Sean McGee says, Mr. Sean, good point. Nezzy says Dumb and Dumber was hilarious. Yeah, definitely. I love Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. I'm torn between which one I like better, the first or the second. I think
Oh, the
I
first.
like the second one a little bit more. Just a little bit. And I think you guys know why. If you haven't seen
Is
me
it the birthing scene?
if you haven't seen me wear something around, you would know that maybe I prefer the second one over the first one. The second one took place, a lot of it in what was it, in Africa, if I recall,
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
around Africa, and
Nature
it
Calls.
was pretty hilarious. Yes, Nature Calls. At the beginning, they did a
Bumblebee tuna.
parody of Cliffhanger, if I recall, with him and a raccoon, which
Yes.
was super silly, but super fun. So anybody that knows me knows that I love Ace Ventura 2 just based on the shirt. Yes, that's me at the Eiffel Tower wearing the shirt, which is hard to see, but it is Jim Carrey coming out of a rhino's ass. So, and I'm wearing it to the
I knew it was the
To the-
birthing scene.
Eiffel Tower. So there you go. What are you gonna do?
Cold old month of December.
All right.
I mean, the birthing scene is pretty great.
That's true. My last one is kind of a sad one, but also a classic fool. I'm going with Del Griffith from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, aka John Candy, the original Stumblebum, as far as the lovable Stumblebums are concerned. This film is a true classic, and yes, a lot of people, including myself, watch it around Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
It's a Thanksgiving film, technically, yes.
Yes.
But you can watch it any time of the year, and no matter how many times I've seen it, I still always find a little snippet or a little piece of something that I either don't remember or that I don't think I've seen at all or noticed before. And that's what I love about Planes, Trains. Like the book he reads I think it's at the airport that Del reads. It's the Canadian Mounted or something like that, I think is what it's called. And it's basically a spicy sex novel about a Mountie and a woman, and it does not exist, by the way. It does not. I looked. The book does not exist. You can get replicas of the book, like a fake cover or whatever, for a book that says that, but the book itself does not exist. Technically, it's not something that was written and produced. It was just some fun that they had during the filming, which shows you that. The creativeness as far as like the decoration and stuff side of props and decorating and things like that they had when making films a lot of times, particularly in the 80s.
I
John-
guarantee somebody has probably created a fanfic for it.
You're probably right. You're probably right, Bonnie. There's
Yeah.
probably
I would not be surprised at all if somebody has created a fanfic to go with that.
Mr. Sean, yes, I will be in the shop all day tomorrow. And Nezzy says, awesome shirt. LOL. Sean McGean says, John Candy was a great one. Yeah, he sure was. And Jen, if you're watching this, or if you do watch this, Jen Candy, by the way, John Candy's daughter, your dad was awesome. Like, just saying. So, we love him. We love John Candy here. We're big fans. So that's my last choice. And Kevin, do you have one more choice?
Sure. This is for the two Seans. And probably Elliot too, for that matter. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Inspector Jacques Clouseau, Pink Panther.
Nice. I prefer the
Ridiculous.
Steve Martin ones myself.
Really?
Over the Peter Sellers? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, the Peter Sellers ones kind of bore me. I don't know what it is. I just find them to be slow-paced and not that fun. But I like
We're not
Jean
friends
Reno.
anymore.
I love Jean Reno. So, like, Jean Reno's in the Steve Martin ones. And the whole hamburger scene where he's trying to speak English about, I would like to buy a hamburger. Oh, my God. It's fantastic. And then when they wear the jumpsuits to match the wallpaper on the wall. Killer. It's killer. I love it. I love it so much. But anyway, I'm going to be hated in the chats now. I know. I get it.
You're used to it.
Yeah, I am. It's okay.
Look, you're one of the most desirable men in North Hollywood. Why would people want to hurt you?
What does that say about the standards of North Hollywood?
They want to throw stones at me. There's a lot of abandoned buildings in North Hollywood, Chris. So there you go.
What are you trying to say? That you're an abandoned person?
No, that the crack addicts want him.
Yeah. Sean McGean says, I would say Charlie Chaplin as a holy fool in modern times. Great film. Great film. And Sean McGean says, yes, Kevin, great pick. And Sean McGean, well, it wasn't Peter Sellers in, what was that murder mystery? Murder by Death, I believe was the name of it. Wasn't he in there? And he played in a Chinese gentleman, if I recall. That was a terrible film.
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah.
That was a really bad film. I mean, if you watch it now, it's... But it's also just not funny. I didn't find anything. And people kept telling me for years, if you love Clue, you're going to love Murder by Death. You have to see it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch it sometime. And I finally took the time to watch it, and I watched it, and I was like, this sucks. Like, I hated it. I was so angry about it. I was like, man, this movie blows. But Clue, great film. Love that film. That's also filled with fools.
Great, cast of foolish characters.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta love them.
I'm actually excited to see their remake of it. Although I would be hard pressed to find anybody that could do Tim Curry's role. Tim Curry to me is irreplaceable.
I honestly don't know if anybody can do any of the roles, like
the
way the original cast did. You know, like it's so cemented in our culture now that it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way it can live up to that. There's no way.
True. Elliot says The Three Amigos, great choice. Mr. Sean says O'Donnell Sellers was brilliant. The Steve Martin ones are just weak tea all the way. Waste of Kevin Kline's talent. I don't know. Kevin Kline's been in some not so great films. So he's wasting his own time. Chevy Chase says Elliot. Chevy Chase is great. Yeah. He's an intelligent fool in Fletch. He's definitely the interesting fool in The Three Amigos.
National Lampoons.
Spies Like Us. He's the fool.
National Lampoons.
He's the foolish agent with I think it was Dan in National Lampoons. He's the family fool for sure. So yeah, he was in
real life.
What was that? Yeah, but what was that TV show? Community. And he played a great fool in that too, a rich fool. He did a fantastic job. So Community was another great role for him. John Belushi was fantastic. And then his brother stepped kind of into his shoes a little bit, Jim, and he was a fool in a lot of stuff, which was fun to see his brother carry on the name, so to speak. Murder by Death was Neil Simon's parody of several detective characters. Some of it has not aged well, but it's overall good. Yeah, no, it did not age well at all. Sean McGean says he played Fu Manchu. He's great in The Party, I Love You, Alice B. Toklas, and Dr. Strangelove. Tons of films. I don't think I've seen any of those.
You ever saw Dr. Strangelove?
I don't think I have. I could be wrong, but I don't think I have. And then Sean McGean also says Owen Wilson, another great one. But you could also argue for
makes you think of Zoolander.
The Wedding Crashers cohort in crime, which was what's his name from Swingers.
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Vince Vaughn.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
Part.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's gonna do us, guys.
And Will Ferrell's throwaway character in that one too. He made a cameo.
Did he?
Wedding Crashers is where he has the famous line. Ah, the meatloaf.
The Wedding Crashers. I thought you were talking about Swingers for a second. I was like, what?
Oh no.
I was very confused. But yes, all great choices, guys. And we thank you for being so active in the chats. We appreciate you as always. Thank you so much. Standards are low in NoHo. Yes, you're right, Nezzy. Standards are low in NoHo. Pretty much, if you have a pulse, I've probably dated you down this way. So there we go. They're very low here in North Hollywood.
Wow.
Oh man.
But I want to thank you all for being here and appreciate you all rolling with the punches when it came to our little April Fool's Day prank. Next week's going to be a great one. Are we having one next week?
Yes, we are.
Are we? Are we though?
Yes. Yes.
Are we?
Yes, we
Are we telling them yes and then we're not because it's like the final April Fool's gotcha? Or
No. We are telling the truth.
we're telling the truth. Right?
Yes.
The absolute truth.
I even know a possible topic.
Oh, what's the possible topic?
Best
Farming.
best plot twist movies.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great one. Thanks again, Bonnie, for being a part of this. We appreciate you. And thank you to all for being so active in the chat. Have a great evening. And if we see you out and about and you might be thirsty, perhaps you should
Have a silly, foolish, but always delicious Rumble Pop.
Good night, everybody.